Hello, I'm Ken Livingstone, and as you may have heard by now, I'm stepping down from my role as Associate Minister at Stockport Baptist Church. But what you may not know is why. And I just want to take this a few moments to explain a little of what's going on. So Sharon and I came to Stockport Baptist in 2009, and for the last 6 years or so, I've been serving the church as associate minister while being minister in training, and then more recently as newly accredited minister. But I believe that the time has now arrived to step down from that. For some time, I felt the need to move outside of traditional uh, church settings. And even though I enjoy and I believe I'm good at producing services and teaching, um, for me, the Sunday centric model of church is making less and less sense. Johnny Baker from Church Mission Society recently quoted a statistic that said 85% of people in this country will never uh, enter the doors of a church. 85%. And in my heart, I want to apply my skills, my experience among those 85%. And I don't feel I can do that while I'm still producing week by week Sunday services. You know, sometimes in order to do this, you have to let go of that. That's what I'm having to do. So I'm not retiring. God called me into the ministry. He has not uncalled me. So I'm not leaving Christian ministry. You just won't see me around Stockport Baptist on a Sunday morning. So where will you see me? What will I be doing? Well, for several years, there's a particular verse in the Bible that's kept coming back to me at different times, which means a lot to me. It's something of a life verse, if you will, and it's from the book of Exodus, the story of when Moses is going to Pharaoh, repeatedly imploring him to free his people. And the verse is this: "Let my people go so that they may worship me." And that's repeated several times through the book of Exodus. And sometimes it has an additional bit on the end, so that they may worship me in the desert. And so at this moment, this verse is saying a couple of things to me. It's leading and directing my thoughts. First, for some years now, I've been interested in how our faith can be challenged and caused to want to change when faced with trials, when life happens. And in particular, how people respond when their faith and the church no longer makes sense to them in the light of the world around them and difficult life events. And I've done some focused study around this, and I've become convinced that there is a way through at such times that doesn't necessarily mean the person has to leave the church, has to leave their faith behind. And that with the support of fellow travellers, I believe a person can be helped when challenged in this way to find God in new ways, to find new expressions of worship, find a new freedom to worship in spirit and in truth, as Jesus described. Honest in relation to God, in relation to self, in relation to others. And I'm keen to reignite this interest that's never really gone away, to walk with people in that challenging situation, people whose faith is evolving. So to start with, I'll be meeting with a small group of these pilgrims, these fellow travellers, walking with them, as it were, into the desert. And as I set out on this path, I do see a parallel with the people of Israel as they went into the desert not only did they endure the hardship of the physical experience, but they learned to know God in a new way. They were introduced to Yahweh. I am who I am. And it's not just a desert experience for these pilgrims. I feel personally it's something of a desert experience in that this ministry, there's no road signs, there's no manual, there's no clearly marked paths for me to follow. It really is a question of for me learning to trust God in new ways, just to see where it might lead. Because there are no guarantees with this. There's no definition of success, and but it's exciting all the same. So that's the first thing I'll be focusing on. The second, which has already started, earlier this year, my friend Benham and I started putting together these short, bite-sized videos and uploading them to Instagram, primarily for the audience in Iran. The Benham's involvement is translating them into Farsi, and his followers are in Iran, they're in Turkey, they're across Europe and the UK. And we want to invest more time in producing these. There was initial really good response to them because these are speaking to people from Muslim background who are curious about Christianity. They want to know more. Some maybe have already started following Jesus. Others are just looking into it. And so these videos are hopefully going to help people to understand what is Christian faith about. Who is this Jesus, and who is he not? My hope also is, while we're making these things, why not make them available to an English-speaking audience as well? So I'll be exploring that as to how to do that, what platform to use, etc. Beyond these two projects, which are very much pioneering ministries, I'm going to be writing. I feel that there's a book in me waiting to escape, so I will be writing. But beyond that, we're not really sure. Sharen and I both want to have some involvement in supporting and working with Afghan refugees that have started arriving in this area, but have no idea what form that work might take. So, as I head into the desert, accompanied by Sharen, I feel excited and a little apprehensive about where this might lead, what lies ahead. But I do feel there are contexts beyond Sunday church where I can use my gifts to make a difference in the lives of some of the 85% who are never likely to knock on the church door. And I'm sure, because we're still in the area, still involved with Olive Branch and Renew Stockport, and I'm sure to see many of you kicking around through those contexts or other kingdom building work in the area. So until I see you again, goodbye. God bless.